to avoid and navigate your way out of all of those politics that are played in the workplace. So please understand, both of these are yours. And at the end of the session, I will make sure that I give you the link. All right. At the end of the session, I will make sure that I repeat the link again. All right. Divya Mani, the link is active. You may need to clear your cookies and your cache. Right. Right. So are you ready to get started with the 3 secrets? Give me a 3 in the comment box if you're ready to get started. Excellent. So please pay attention. See, please understand, the first fit is what I call finding the right fit. See, career superstars, they know that they cannot solve every problem. They cannot fit into every issue. Okay. They are unique people. They have very specific skills. They can only solve certain problems. Okay. And very quickly, I also realized, okay, that every company, every job and every company has some unique and specific needs. Please understand this. In every single function, may you be sales, marketing, HR, legal, admin, may you be operations, may you be IT, in every single function, in every single industry, at every level of experience, a company has certain unique needs. Okay? हर इंडस्ट्री में, हर फंक्शन में, हर तजुर्बे के लेवल पे कंपनीज की अपनी अनोखी जरूरतें होती हैं. Okay? Are you understanding what I'm telling you? Give me a U for understanding if you're understanding this. Thank you. Now, please understand, there are 2 types of needs. There are ordinary needs and there are extraordinary needs. Okay? Ordinary needs are the needs that you find on the job description. Extraordinary needs are the needs that go beyond the job description. Are you following me? Give me a F for following if you're following me. See, this word needs is an acronym. NEEDS, new emergencies and existing difficulties to be solved. ये 2 प्रकार की होती हैं. There are 2 types, ordinary needs and extraordinary needs. When your speak overlaps with these needs, especially with the extraordinary needs, okay? Remember, your steak was a concept that I explained to you when we first started. So for those of you who came a little late, I will explain this to you again. Steak is STEEKQ. This word steak stands for your skills, your talents, your education, your experiences, your knowledge, and your qualities. This is the sum total of your personal and professional development up until today. When your steak overlaps with these extraordinary needs, these needs that go beyond the job description, that is where the magic of 3x salary begins to take shape. But this is not see, please understand, you have to think of yourself as a chabi, as a key. Now, as a key, you cannot open every lock, but there are some locks that only you can best open. But see, please understand, this is not the complete picture. Okay? There is one more element. In fact, that's the most important element. And that element is called wants. Now, this word wants, WANTS, is also an acronym. It stands for what aspects are needed to be successful. Now, please understand, using the word wants, I am talking about the culture of the company. What is the type of culture you need to fit into? Because when your value system and the company's value system is in alignment, you will get a very supportive environment. But if your value system and the company's value system is not in alignment, फिर तकरार होगी. You'll be butting heads. How many of you have experienced a work culture where the culture does not let you perform at your best? Give me an I in the comment box if you've experienced that. Thank you. Again, it's a very common problem for working professionals. And see, very early on in my career, I knew what I wanted from the culture of a company. Can you guess what was the number one factor that I was looking for from the culture of a company? Tell me in the comment box. What do you think? Gaurav Soni is saying ownership. Dhananjaya E is saying learning. Shankar is saying respect. Sabiha is saying happy. Sarath is saying learning. Padmini is saying ethics. Madhushri is saying growth. Arvind is saying respect. Sneha is saying clarity. Baldwin is saying conducive environment. Prathamesh is saying appreciation. Takmina is saying professional development. Nilesh is saying freedom to work. Gautam is saying appreciation for work done. Vijay is saying flexibility. Manas is saying leadership. Siddharth is saying ideas acceptance. Priyal is saying support. Rahul is saying sense of growth. Rachit is saying innovation. Vishal is saying delegation. Rohit is saying honesty. Sutanu is saying openness. Vishal is saying accountability. Mukesh is saying understanding. Amit is saying freedom. Shashi is saying empathy. Aswin is saying inclusiveness. Arun is saying involvement. See, these are some fantastic answers. But let me tell you, the number one factor that I wanted from the culture of a company was an enthusiastic environment. That sense of positive urgency where you feel you are on a mission, where you are challenged, where you are involved. Because see, enthusiasm is different from excitement. Excitement will take you high quickly, but it will also make you crash down. Now, I was living away from my family. I wanted to have that joy of work. I wanted to feel like I'm part of something greater than myself. And I'll tell you why. So please understand this. Without enthusiasm, it is impossible to do meaningful work. Without enthusiasm, it is impossible to do meaningful work. We only develop a meaning with whatever it is that we are doing when we feel that we are trusted, we are empowered, we are included. Please understand that when we are actively involved, when it is challenging us, because without meaningful work, you will not develop a commitment. See, please appreciate, we only develop a commitment with something that has meaning in our lives. It has some weight, some wazn in our lives. Because a commitment is something that will keep us going even when things become difficult. And without a commitment, you will not achieve excellence in anything. Commitment is a fundamental requirement to achieve excellence in any area. See, I'm going to share my cultural expectations with you. I'm going to share what I was looking for from the culture of a company. I'm going to share my wants with you. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want you to understand how important culture is. Please understand, the culture that you need is dependent on your unique personality, your individual personality. And you are a unique individual. You are different from everybody else in this room. Please understand that. So when you look at my list, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. I want you to ask yourself which of these factors apply to you, which do not apply to you, and what other factors do you require that are maybe not on my list, because I want to get your mind going. I want to get your mind going in what kind of a culture will be the best culture for you. So please understand this. This is very critical. The number one factor, as I told you, that I was looking for was an enthusiastic environment. Kaam karne ka maza aana chahiye, right? It should be a fun place to work where real work is getting done. Kaam karne se parinam nikal rahe hain. It's a fun place to get work done. The second factor I was looking for was a differentiated platform. Now, let me explain what this means. See, if my work is different from others, if my work is better than others, then my rewards should also be better than others. Do you think that is fair? Give me a F for fair if you feel that is fair. अगर मेरा काम औरों से बेहतर है, तो मेरा इनाम भी औरों से बेहतर होना चाहिए, right? I wanted a differentiated platform. This should not be a new behavior for the company, because a lot of times what happens is, after you produce the value for the company postpones the discussion about how you will get value to the next performance cycle. Does that happen? Give me an H for happen if that has happened. And I find that to be very unfair. And see, the third thing that I was looking for was a sense of ownership. And again, I'll tell you what this means. I wanted to work for a company where they give me the authority and the power to take decisions. And I knew as an employee, if they give me this power to take certain decisions, then I will also be held accountable for those decisions. But it also means that it should be okay to fail sometimes. See, you are a human being. Every decision you will take will not be perfect. आप हर बॉल पे छक्का नहीं मार सकते, right? You cannot hit a sixer on every ball, right? So some decisions you take may not be the best decisions, but the company must allow for that failure. They must treat failure as a stepping stone, as a learning opportunity. Okay. Of course, as an employee, I realized I must not fail at the same thing twice. I must not make the same mistake again. I must have the capacity to learn from my mistakes. See, the ability to take good decisions comes from experience, and experience comes from taking bad decisions. So please understand that. This is what I mean by sense of ownership. Company must be able to separate the human being from the failing event. And the fourth factor that I was looking for was regular access to the CEO. Now, please understand, this was for two reasons. The first reason was I was very ambitious. At some point in my career, I wanted to be a CEO. And I did not want to read about a CEO in a book. I wanted to see the person live in the hot seat. I wanted to see, how does a CEO build a team? How do they deal with strategy matters? How do they deal with difficult market conditions? I wanted to observe that live. And the second reason was I knew all of the most important decisions are taken at that level. I wanted to be able to observe that level of decision making and also have some input towards it. And the fifth factor on my list was I wanted cross-functional work. And I'll tell you why I wanted to work across multiple functions. The reason was because, see, organizations are like a watch, like a ghadi, like a watch. Now, there are many different parts in a watch. All of these parts have to work together to give you the correct time. Similarly, in a company, there are many different departments. All of these areas have to work together to give you excellent results. But the work of one area impacts another area. And you cannot appreciate how the work of one area impacts another area only in theory. You may be a very intelligent person, but understanding how the work of one area impacts another area only in theory is not sufficient. That is why there is no substitute for actual experience. I wanted to develop a sincere and deep appreciation for how the work of departments is connected, how the work of one area impacts another area. Because I will become an even better decision maker, an even better leader as I grow if I have cross-functional experience. Because otherwise, companies, many departments in companies start playing the blame game. Are you familiar with the blame game? Give me a BG for blame game if you're understanding what I'm telling you. You should have done it. No, you should have done it. Right? It's a very common thing. Departments are often fighting and quarreling with each other. Right? And I'll tell you, the sixth factor on my list was I wanted project-based work. And I'll tell you what I mean by this. I wanted to do the type of work where it takes a lot of effort to produce big results. बहुत मेहनत लगेगी, कड़ा परिश्रम लगेगा, बड़े परिणाम निकालने के लिए. I wanted to do the type of work where it takes a lot of effort, consistent and sustained effort and energy to produce big results. Because see, these are going to be some of the most complex opportunities and complex challenges facing the companies. They are going to be some of the most important things that the company is doing. And if I can align myself with some of their most important things and work hard to create results in those areas, then the rewards that will flow back to me will also be big. See, these are not things that will get solved overnight. These are not things that will be solved in 1 week or a month or, quickly. These are things that will take 6-8 mahine, 6-8 months, or maybe even longer to produce results in. Okay? The greater the difficulties that you can solve, the greater your pay. Please understand that. So this is why I wanted this project-based work. And then I wanted to work for a small to medium enterprise. I did not want to work for a big company. And I would very much prefer if it was a family business, because my own background was from a family company. So, I understood how to operate in a family business environment. I would be very effective there. And my 8th factor was I wanted the opportunity to build high performance teams. See, we don't do anything alone. See, please understand that your ability to get great work out of other people is one of the defining characteristics of leadership. The ability to identify the right people, to hire them, to train them and groom them, to be able to help them grow their careers and to be able to retain them. This is the job of a leader. And I can tell you, I see this very commonly in India. I see this very commonly in India. A lot of people are being put into leadership positions and they don't have the leadership skills. Would you agree? Give me an A for agree if you're understanding what I'm telling you. A lot of people are put into leadership positions where they don't have the leadership skills. They don't know how to groom their teams. They land up insulting their teams, embarrassing people. They lose that sacred connection with their teams. There is a second thing I want you to understand here. Please understand this. A lot of people, a lot of employees feel that their growth will happen because of the next new technology coming out. Okay? The next new certification coming out. Artificial intelligence का course करते हैं, data science का course करते हैं. We want to learn machine learning. Okay? Please understand, I'm not trying to take away from the value of this education, but I want you to understand, after a certain point, there are 2 factors that are going to impact your career and your progress even more. And those 2 factors are, 1, your ability to get great work out of other people, and 2, understanding how your activities impact the financial statements of the company. What you do, how it creates financial impact for the organization. Please understand these 2 factors. Because a lot of people in many functions keep living in this bubble that the next certification is what will help us grow. That's not true. After a certain point, these factors will be much more important. And please understand, I want you to understand this. This is all based on your individual personality. This is based entirely on your individual personality. What you look for in the culture of a company is a function of who you are. That is why I wanted you to look at this list and ask yourself these 3 questions. What from my list also applies to you? What does not apply to you? And what else do you require? A lot of you are asking me to repeat those 2 factors, so I'll repeat them. Please pay attention. The first factor is your ability to lead other teams, to get great work out of other people. And 2, your connect with the financial statements of the company. How your everyday work hits the balance sheet and the profit and loss statement. Very critical to understand that. Right. Can I share an example with you? Give me an E for example if I can share an example with you. See, this is Hari. He was working in customer relationship management in the real estate industry. He was working with this builder and developer. Now, this is an excellent company to work for. This is a great company to work for. The problem is, Hari's personality was not a good fit here. Hari was a good man, but his personality was not a good fit here. There was a clash between how he wanted to work and the expected behaviors at the company. And at that point, he had about 7-8 years of experience. His annual CTC was around 8 lakhs. But he used to go to his office, he used to hang down his head, and he used to say, "Ek din aur jhelna padega. One more day I have to suffer through this." How many of you are familiar with that feeling? Give me a FF for familiar feeling if you are familiar with that feeling. Thank you. Again, very common issue. And that is where he came and engaged with me. And in less than 90 days, I worked with him to help him find the right opportunity. Help him find those 3 circles. And look what happened to his salary. His salary went from 8 lakhs to 26 lakhs. But please understand, this does not happen by magic. Ye jadoo se nahi hota. It doesn't happen by magic. It takes a lot of hard work to align yourself with the extraordinary needs of a company and then market yourself successfully to get hired. See, please understand, I make this comparison between the diamond market and the job market. Okay? मैं ये तुलना करता हूं diamond market or job market के बीच. Okay? Now, I want you to understand this. Your 3x job, your super premium job, okay, that is rare. Like diamonds are rare, that premium job that will pay you 3x, that job is also rare. But all types of diamonds are not rare. हर प्रकार का हीरा rare नहीं होता, right? So if you look at ordinary diamonds, clear, colorless, ordinary diamonds, these are not really rare. Last year, more than 14 crore carats were mined. These ordinary diamonds are like standard jobs. There are many. Okay, but if you look at colored diamonds, they are much more rare. These colored diamonds are like those premium jobs, those jobs that will pay you much, much more. But there is one color of diamond that is the rarest of all. Can you tell me which is the rarest colored diamond of all? Tell me in the comment box. Shashi Kiran has the right answer. Anthony P has the right answer. Soham Pathak has the right answer. Biplab Malik has the right answer. Pankaj Prajapati has the right answer. Chamarthi Savitri has the right answer. Raghuram JB has the right answer. Likhit Adarsh has the right answer. Prateek Mehta has the right answer. Shashi Singh has the right answer. A lot of you know your diamonds. Huh? I'm very impressed. See, it's the red diamond. The red diamond is the rarest diamond of all. Most people will never see one actually in their hand in their entire life. Please understand, it takes 300 crores worth of regular diamond production, 300 crore carat worth of regular diamond production to find 1 carat of a red diamond. It's that rare. This red diamond is your dream job. Your red diamond job is your dream job, your ideal job, that job that is perfect for you. Please understand, that dream job, that red diamond job is rare. But please also understand this. It is not rare because it does not exist. It is rare because you don't know where to look for it. And you don't have the tools to dig it out. In actuality, there are many red diamond jobs waiting for you. वास्तव में बहुत ये अमेजिंग जॉब्स आपकी वेट कर रहे हैं. You don't have the tools to uncover this. Because please understand, the red diamond job, your dream job, lives at the center of these 3 circles. Are you learning something? Is this impacting you? Give me a LI for learning and impact if you're understanding what I'm telling you. Thank you. But please understand, to achieve the alignment of these 3 circles is not easy. Achieving this alignment is not easy. Your thoughts and your actions, your behaviors have to be the same. जैसे आप सोचते हैं और जैसे आप करते हैं वो समान होना चाहिए. Okay? It must be congruent. It must be real. It must be authentic. It must be very sincere. Can I share another truth bomb with you? Give me a TB for truth bomb if I can share this. See, this will shock you a little bit. ये झटका मारेगा truth bomb. But it is very important you take it in the right spirit. Okay? Please understand this. Okay? See, please understand. Your career is like a mirror. And a mirror can only show you the original that you are in the first place. Because you cannot escape from cause and effect. हर नतीजे के पीछे एक वजह होती है. आप ये वजह और नतीजे से भाग नहीं सकते. You cannot escape from this cause and effect. See, you have a reality in your career that you are experiencing. You cannot argue with that reality. आप अपनी हकीकत से बहस नहीं कर सकते. If you argue with your reality, you will lose 100% of the time. See, the bottom line here is you have to take responsibility for aligning these 3 circles. If you take that responsibility, you will have an amazing career. But if you don't take that responsibility, you will keep running into dead ends. The bottom line here is you attract the type of opportunity that you are. And that is why I'm telling you, this is not for everyone. If you are not good at what you do, I simply cannot help you. Because this is not a get-rich-quick program. This is going to take hard work. It's going to take blood, sweat, and tears. How many of you are willing to put in the blood, sweat, and tears? Give me a BST for blood, sweat, and tears if you're willing to put in blood, sweat, and tears. Because please understand, I cannot promote fake expertise. No one can. सफलता की मजबूत टांगे होनी चाहिए. Success needs to have strong legs. And the example that I've shared with you and that I will be sharing with you, these are all people who worked very hard to earn these results. See, the point I'm trying to make is that your speak must be able to have an impact. You must be able to solve major problems. Okay? I want you to understand that. So what does that really mean? It means if you work in any of the major industries, you work in oil and gas or renewable energy or metals and minerals or FMCG and retail or healthcare and pharmaceuticals or telecommunications and information technology, construction and real estate, academics and education. If you work in any of the media, if you work in any of the major industries, then it will work for you. Or if you're in any of the major functions, you're in sales or marketing or information technology or human resources or accounts or finance, or you're in supply chain, you're in public relations, corporate affairs, then yes, it will work for you. Your steek needs to be able to solve big problems, capitalize on major opportunities. And that brings us to the second secret. I hope by now I have been able to establish the concept of the red diamond in your head. How many of you want to make it your reality? Give me an R for reality if you want to make it your reality. Then please pay attention, because in this second secret, I'm going to go into the complete detail of the framework. Okay, I'm going to help you understand this complete overview of how to make this your reality. Okay, I'm going to lift back the curtain and give you the insider's view. Okay, see, if you want to make your red diamond job your reality, then you have to follow the SPT model. This SPT model is the suspects, prospects, and targets model. Okay. Now, to make that red diamond job, your dream job, your reality, you have to take a journey. And you take that journey by first building a list of suspect companies. Now, please understand, what are suspect companies? Suspect companies are companies where you feel that there is a very strong match between your steek and their needs. Between your steek is your khubiyan, your hunar, aapke gun, okay? Your talents, your education, your experience, your knowledge, your qualities. So a very strong match between your value and their zaruratein, their needs, okay? This is what we call suspect companies, okay? Now, I want you to understand this. When I first made this list for myself, 18-20 saal pehle, there were 16 companies on my list of suspects. Okay? There were 16 companies on my list of suspects. And then I had to take these companies through hard data research. I had to take them through this stage called hard data research, because as a suspect company, it was only my feeling that there is a strong match between my steek and their needs. I actually wanted to be sure, is there really a strong match? And to be sure, I had to take these suspect companies through this process of hard data research. And the companies that emerged from this process, jo bahar nikli is research se, okay, those companies I could call prospects. And the reason I gave it the word prospects is because now, having done the research, I knew that with some companies, there is a very strong match between my steek and their needs. But with many companies, there is a very weak match or no match. So please understand, only 6 companies made it to the prospect stage. I started with 16 companies, but after I researched them to understand what value I can bring to them, only 6 companies were left on my list. And then I took these prospect companies through a second type of research called soft data research. Now, in this soft data research, I wanted to understand their culture before I joined them. I wanted to understand that circle of wants, being an outsider, okay? And the companies that came out of that second type of research is companies I could call targets. Now, these target companies were companies that were at the center of the 3 circles. But again, not all companies made it to the target stage. Only 4 companies made it to the target stage. I want you to realize this is a broad to narrow process. Give me a B to N for broad to narrow if you've understood this is a broad to narrow process. Thank you. Now, please understand, most of you are asking me the question, how do you conduct hard data and soft data research? Would you like to understand that? Give me a U for understand if you would like to understand that. How to conduct hard and soft data research. Okay, I will give you a complete overview of that. Please pay attention to this. So I took my list of suspect companies and I took them through a process called hard data research. Now, in this process, I took them through 5 types of research. Okay. And in this 5 types of research, I researched their financials, the industry, their credit rating, market factors, and competitive factors. Okay. Now, please understand the reason I call it hard data research is because all of this information is available in the public domain. For every tax-paying company, for every single tax-paying company, okay, their financial statements are available to you. In India, there are more than 60 lakh tax-paying businesses. Their balance sheets, their profit and loss statements are available to you. If you go to a website like Toffler or Zauba Corp or Screener or Money Control or Crunchbase or the Ministry of Corporate Affairs government website, a lot of detail on them is available to you. How many of you are learning that for the first time? Give me a 1 in the comment box if you're learning that for the first time. Their audited financial statements are available to you. Please understand this. It doesn't matter if it's a LLC or a LLP or a private limited company or a public limited company. It doesn't matter if it's a trading company or a manufacturing company. For every single tax-paying company, almost all over the world, this is true. Okay. And the reason you look at their financials is because numbers don't lie. Numbers don't have any emotions. And I want you to understand this. They will very quickly tell you what is the company doing correctly and what is the company doing wrong, and why the company is going wrong. And then I also wanted to do industry level research, because please understand, in every industry, there is a value chain. Okay. In every industry, there is a value chain. Okay. A point where the product or the service is made and a point where it is consumed. Okay. The value chain of an industry is all of the points that the product or the service goes through, from creation to consumption. Okay. I wanted to understand how does the company fit within the industry. I wanted to understand what is the risk profile of the industry. What is the future of the industry like? Because many a times there are factors that can allow certain points of the value chain to make huge increases in profitable market share. Okay. So I wanted to understand these trends and drivers. How does the company fit in the industry? What is the future of the industry like? What are the opportunities and challenges at an industry level? And then I wanted to understand the credit rating of the business. Now, how many people here know their own CIBIL score? Give me a CIBIL in the comment box if you know your own CIBIL score. See, your CIBIL score is a representation of your credit worthiness. It is a representation of what is the default level of risk associated with you. And this is what bankers and lending institutions look at before they give you a loan. Okay? Kya aapse paisa wapas aayega? Right? So similarly, how you have a CIBIL score, companies have a CRISIL score. Okay? Companies have a CRISIL score. So if you go to the CRISIL website or the Indian Credit Rating Association, ICRA, you can get the CRISIL report of a business. The reason this is important is because, please understand, the number one factor that an organization will require if it has to scale up is what? What is the number one factor that a company will require if it has to scale up? That's right, Siddharth. That's right, Vijay. That's correct, Abhinav. That's right, Nilesh. That's right, Sumit. You are all giving me the correct answer. The number one factor that it will require is funds, rokda, paisa, capital, investment, money. That's the number one factor a company will require if it has the opportunity to scale up. And this report also tells you the ownership. It gives you certain other details also. Okay. And then I also wanted to look at market factors. I wanted to look at factors from people who are consuming the product or the service. What is their experience? How do they find the product or the service? How has the company priced the product or the service? Is there only a core product or service, or are there product extensions also? Okay. Have they positioned the brand for the luxury market, or for the value market, or for the middle market? So I wanted to understand all of these market related factors. Where are the distribution gaps? So these were all of the factors I wanted to understand more deeply. Because I'm doing this hard data research to understand where is the opportunity. And then I even did competitive research. I did competitive research to understand how to change certain elements based on what the best players of the industry are doing to gain even more competitive market share. How are the best players playing that game? Now, this information is very easily available. The challenge is you have to collect it and organize it. It's very easy to get lost in the data. And that is not the purpose here. The purpose here is to get your red diamond job. So I realized I must build this as a system. So I built it in a manner where I was able to take these 16 companies through this process in less than 2 days. And that is where I was able to narrow it down from suspects to prospects. And then I took these prospect companies and I took them through a second type of research, and that is called soft data research. Now, in this soft data research, I took them through 5 more types of research: team member assessment, decision maker identification, employee opinions, management style, and understanding the leadership. Now, please appreciate this. Please appreciate this. I wanted to understand who are the team members. Are the KPIs mapped? Is everybody pulling in the same direction? Is there clarity around the goal? I wanted to understand who are the decision makers in the business, the people that I should connect with, the people who have the authority and the power to give me that job. And I wanted to understand the true opinion of the people who are already working there. I did not want to read some online review. I wanted to speak to their existing employees. I wanted to get real-time feedback. And please understand, if you position yourself as a job seeker, you will not get this information. See, when you interact with a company as a job seeker, you also put your best foot forward. Yes or no? Tell me in the comment box. Yes or no? When you interact with the company, you want to get hired, so you put your best foot forward. Similarly, the company also puts its best foot forward, because the company also wants to hire the best talent. Okay? So please understand that you need to create the context so that you get the ground reality of their culture. Okay, because this is information that typically you only come to realize after you start the job. And by then it could be too late. You can feel trapped. Ye to galat company join kar di, right? Now, please understand this. You have to create that context. And then I also wanted to understand their management style, because there were some very specific things I was looking for. I was looking for project-based work, cross-functional work, enthusiastic environment, differentiated platform, opportunities to build teams, sense of ownership, access to the CEO. I was looking for some very specific elements. That's why I shared my list with you. And then I wanted to understand who the leaders are. See, if you do not appreciate what the soldier is going through in the battlefield, you will not make a good general. Agreed? Give me an A for agree if you agree with this. If you don't appreciate the bullets, the bombs, the landmines that the soldier has to face, you will not make a good general. It's as simple as that. And this is all soft data. This is data that is not easily available. So you really need to have a method to be able to collect this information and then interpret it for the rich insight. And that is where, when I did that, I was able to take my prospect companies to target companies. See, the point I'm trying to make is that I build it as a system that allows me to take organizations from suspects to prospects to targets in a quick and efficient manner. My students today are able to do that for an organization in less than 4 hours. They take companies from the suspect stage to the prospect to the target stage in less than 4 hours. In one weekend, they can generate 4 job offers. Are you understanding the power of this system? Give me a UP for understanding the power of the system if you're understanding the power of the system. See, please understand. Please understand. You are looking at it for the first time. It took me 6 years to build this system. And then it took me 10 years to perfect it. Please understand that. And I can tell you, I was working at this company, as I told you, Damon Worldwide. How many of you remember me telling you this? Give me an R for remember if you remember this. I was working at this company, Damon Worldwide. Excellent culture. Excellent culture. But salary increment, promotions were a big problem. There was a system that governed that. And I can tell you, my performance here was amazing. I was the #1 person in sales, but the increments were governed by a system. Okay. I was the #1 guy in sales. They used to look at sales per payroll hour and sales per $1,000 of salary paid. Now, in my division alone, there were 1,500 salespeople. In the full company, more than 22,000 people in sales. And I was #1 on that ranking. I'm not talking about the top 10% or the top 1%. I'm talking about the top 0.1%. But when it came to giving increment and reward, there was a system. It would be the same for the top 10% performers. How many of you feel this is unfair? Give me a UN for unfair if you feel this is unfair. And see, first year, okay, I was new, I was learning. But in the second year, I brought in more than $60 million in new sales, and they were very profitable. But I was given a 8.5%, 9% increase, right? I felt that was very unfair. And in the third year, I can tell you, I spoke to my boss about it, and I even spoke to the super boss. My boss's boss. But I was very politely told, Savan, the system is not going to change for one person. The impact will be too great. So please understand that. And by the fourth year, I can tell you it was really impacting my mindset. The red diamond was becoming a red light. See, please understand, I was giving all of my time to my job, but I was not making the kind of money I wanted to make. And this is what was impacting my interest level. It was causing a lot of unnecessary tension. It was causing a lot of stress. And stress and tension is like a character certificate. When you grow up, you're supposed to have stress. Bhai, ab bade ho gaye hai, ab stress aa gaya hai. It's like a character certificate that you are now a grown-up. But the truth is, it was impacting the quality of my life. I did not enjoy feeling this way. And it was then that I realized that I truly only have three options. And my three options were: one, I must accept what is going on. Two, I must speak up. And I had spoken up. I'm not saying you should go and quit your job. If you can have your concerns addressed, please speak up and have your concerns addressed. And the third option was start looking for a new job. So which option do you think did I take? Tell me. 1, 2, or 3? See, I call this the concept of dynamic acceptance. And it is important that you understand this. I call this the concept of dynamic acceptance. See, I could not accept it because that would be living in denial. That's not my personality. And there was a limit to how much I could speak. I was, after all, working on a work visa, right? There was a limit to मैं कितना बोल सकता था. I don't want to be perceived as a krantikari, as a rebel, right? And that is where I felt the smart thing to do is to look for another job while I have the salary from this job. And I call this concept dynamic acceptance because what this means is accept what you cannot change. If you cannot change it, you have to accept it. If you can change it, change it. Change the changeable. And if it is not acceptable to you, remove yourself from that situation. And in life, whenever you have a difficult decision to make, please understand, these are your only three options. Are you learning something? Give me an L for learning if you're learning something. So I decided I should start looking for another job. But is waqt, I did not use my SPT model. Right now, I had not used my SPT model. Abhi मैंने अपने SPT model का प्रयोग नहीं किया था. I had not used it. I looked for a job like how everybody looks for a job. So when you start looking for a job, where do you look? Tell me in the comment box. Where do you start looking for a job? Right. You start looking on the internet, right? You will start on naukri.com or LinkedIn or career websites, job portals, right? So I also started looking on the internet. Okay. I started looking on the internet. It took me about 3 months to find the right position. I started networking, asking my friends in my network, but it took me about 3 months to find the right position. And then it took me another month and a half to interview, get selected, go through that whole process. Okay. And after about almost 4.5 months, I got a new job. And when I got a new job, I got a huge salary jump. How many of you have experienced that? Give me an E for experience if you've experienced that. Do you think it is a sustainable way to increase your salary? That's right. It is not a sustainable way. Maybe you can do it once or twice in your career, but if you've done job hopping, it will become difficult even getting an interview because your loyalty and your commitment will be questioned. You will be put into the category that this person is not stable. Ye to kahin jamta hi nahi hai. Right? So please understand that it's not the sustainable way. Your stability comes into question. Correct? So please understand that. Now, after I took the job with this company, the company I joined was Total Wine and More. Okay, this was a retailer of beverage alcohol products. And I joined them. After I joined them, I came to realize that this is not the right company for me. I'm not fitting into their culture. See, at Damon, I was given a lot of authority and power to take decisions. But at this company, at Total Wine, everything required multiple approvals. It was a very hierarchical company. And that's not a bad thing. It was working for them. They were a growing company. It was my responsibility to fit into their behaviors, into their mission. And no matter how I tried, I was not able to fit into these expected behaviors. So culturally, I was a complete mismatch. And within 6 months, I felt this is not working. In fact, I'll tell you, one day I came in and I saw this note on my desk. I used to get to work quite early. I used to get to work at about 7 o'clock in the morning. And there used to be a McDonald's below my office. So I used to go to the McDonald's. I used to get a cup of coffee, one hash brown, and then I used to go to my desk. So I did my routine. I parked. I got off. I went to the McDonald's. I got my coffee. I got my hash brown, and I went up to my desk. I saw this note on my desk. It was in my boss's handwriting. Come see me. So I picked up the note and I went to her office. Her office was just around the corner. I went, I knocked on the door. I opened the door. I wished her a good morning. And the way she looked back at me, it was like an alarm was ringing. I stepped into her office and she looked at me, and the first thing she said to me was, Savan, this is not working out. I'm sorry, but your services are no longer required. Like that. It took them less than 5 seconds to fire me. What do I tell my family? How do I run my life? I don't know if anybody here has been through this experience, but I can tell you, it feels like getting hit in the head with a cricket bat. I mean, you go, sun, it stuns you. You don't know what is the right next step. Ab kya karu? What do I do now? And it took 2-3 days for my emotions to settle down. And it was only after my emotions settled down that I came to realize that if you don't fit into the culture of the company, it doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter how intelligent you are or how loyal or hardworking you are. And please understand, I was in a very difficult position because as per the law, I had 30 days to get another job, or I had to leave the country. I felt my career is over. I felt my life is over. All of that hard work, all of the money I had spent to go there, everything was coming to an end. And I started looking for jobs again. But have you ever felt so alone where, I'm looking for jobs and there is not even a single position I'm coming by that I want to apply for. I'm feeling like there is not even a single job in this whole world for me. इस पूरी दुनिया में मेरे लिए एक भी नौकरी नहीं. Have you ever felt that way? Give me a F for felt if you've ever felt being that isolated and alone. I can tell you at that point, I decided I need to use my own process. I need to use my own process. I'm going to use my SPT model now. I had been building it, and I said, I am going to use this model to get a job. Because I'm tired of applying for jobs and not hearing back from recruiters, not hearing back from companies, living in that anxiety purpose full time. I said, I'm going to use my model. Do you want to see what the results were when I used my SPT model? Give me an R for results if you want to understand the results of what happened when I used this model. Thank you. See, I'll share this with you. At the time, I was working for Total Wine and More. This is the company that fired me. I was working as a senior manager in the category management function. Okay. My annual salary was around 59 lakh rupees. That's what they were paying me yearly. Okay. Now, I want you to understand this. As I told you, I had 4 target companies. Do you remember that? Give me a 4 in the comment box if you remember. I had 4 target companies, right? I was able to generate an offer from all 4 companies in less than 30 days. I was able to generate an offer from all 4 companies in less than 30 days. And I want you to understand this. The first offer that I got was from this company, ABC Fine Wines and Spirits. This was another retailer of beverage alcohol products. Okay. But this was a double jump. Here, the role I was offered was at the vice president level. Designation wise, it was a double jump up. Okay. And salary wise, it was almost a 3x. Okay. From 59 lakhs to 1.69 crores. Now, please understand, this does not happen by magic. This is the power of research. Okay. I want you to pay attention to these 2 areas. Okay. I want you to pay attention to these 2 areas. Okay. These 2 columns. The first one is called NS score. Who is going to tell me what is NS score? Tell me in the comment box. What is NS score? Aman is on the right track. Sarvajit is on the right track. Vijay Patel is on the right track. Sneha Jyoti is on the right track. Madhur Maheshwari has got the right answer. Sarvoch Gupta has got the right answer. Vishal Khandare has the right answer. Pradeep Gulur has the right answer. See, this NS score is your needs to speak score. Okay. This comes from your hard data research. This tells you how well does your speak match the company's needs. Okay. And the second score I want you to pay attention to this is the culture column. Okay. The cultural score. Do you remember I had 8 needs that I had 8 wants that I was looking for in the culture of the company? Give me an 8 in the comment box if you remember that. I was looking for enthusiastic environment, sense of ownership, right? Differentiated platform, report to the CEO, cross-functional work, project-based work, wanting to work in a family business and build high-performance teams, right? This tells you how many of those factors you're going to get. This comes from your soft data research. But by looking at this, how many of you have understood that you can quantify your fit and your match in any job? Give me a cue for quantify if you've understood that. So this was the first offer that I created. The second offer was from this company called Diageo, okay? Largest beverage alcohol company in the world. And this was a very senior level sales role. And the salary they were offering me, the base salary was 2.15 crores, plus a 20% performance-based bonus, which would bring the total to more than 2.5 crores. Because again, here, the NS score was a solid A. And culturally, my soft data research told me I would get 5 out of the 8 factors that I was looking for. And the third offer that I generated was at the C level. This was a triple jump. This was again a retailer of beverage alcohol products. This was a company called Bevmo. Okay. And here, the offer that I got was for the COO position. And here the base salary was 2.56 crores plus a small 10% bonus that would bring the total package to more than 2.8 CR. Because again, here, my NS score was a solid A. The match between my stick and their needs was a solid A. And I would get 6 out of the 8 factors. My hard data research told me that I'm a very good match for their problems and opportunities. And my soft data told me that 75% of the factors that I'm looking for in their culture, I would get. And the fourth offer that I got was from this company called Palm Bay. Okay. Now, this company was an importer of beverage alcohol products. Okay. They used to bring in wines, spirits, vodkas, whiskeys from other countries. Okay. And the base salary that they gave me, that they were offering me, was 1.92 crores. But look at this, a 50% performance-based bonus. And I was a very ambitious young man. What they were telling me is that if you can hit the targets, we will give you 50% extra pay. That would bring the total package to 2.88, almost 2.9 crores. But I was custom made for this job. My NS score was an A+, couldn't be better. And my soft data research told me I would get all 8 factors that I'm looking for. Okay. Now, I want you to understand something. The fact that I'm getting all 8 factors does not mean that this company will not have any politics. Okay. That जहां पे भी इंसान है, politics है, कुछ राजनीति है. Okay. That's not what it means. It just means that there is a very strong alignment between my value system and the company's value system. So my ability to handle those politics will be much better. Are you understanding what I'm telling you? Give me a U for understanding if you're understanding this. Now, please appreciate this. Please appreciate this. I want to ask you this question. Which offer do you think did I accept? The first offer, the second offer, the third offer, or the fourth offer? Which offer do you think did I take? See, please keep in mind, the highest fixed salary was in offer number 3. Please keep that in mind. Now, one other thing I will tell you. If you are looking on my LinkedIn profile and then giving me the answer, that's cheating. You have to tell me honestly with your mind, with your thought. You cannot look at my LinkedIn profile and then tell me that would be cheating. Right. Right. Now, okay, before I give you the answer, Have you heard this statement? Have you heard this statement? Money is not everything. पैसा ही सब कुछ नहीं होता. Give me an H for heard if you've heard this statement. Right? Now, let me tell you, I agree with this statement. Money is not everything. Money cannot buy happiness. It cannot buy time. Right? It cannot buy relationships. Right? But can I tell you the honest truth about this statement? Give me a HT for honest truth if I can tell you the honest truth about this statement. Thank you. See, please understand. The honest truth about this statement is please do not use such statements till you have money. Only millionaires are allowed to use this statement. Please understand that. ये फिलॉसफी की बातें मत कीजिए जब तक आपके पास पैसा नहीं है. Please understand this. Because money cannot buy relationships or time or happiness. I completely agree. But you have to have money to understand the power of money. In times of difficulty, पैसा कवच बनकर सामने खड़ा हो जाता है. In times of difficulty, money becomes a huge protection. Now, therefore, the reason the Palm Day offer is because one, it was giving me the total highest package if I work hard. Okay. And even more importantly, because I was custom made for this job, my fit with their problems was the best, and the culture was in alignment. Can you tell me what was my number one learning from running my SPT model? Tell me, what was my number one learning from running this SPT model? Suryag is saying speak. Amit Ahuja is saying fitment is key. Gaurav Soni is saying NS score. Karthik Dintakurti is saying being at right place. Padmini Sila is saying enthusiasm, environment. Karthike Bhatt is saying satisfaction. Roshan Thota is saying you're fit. Shashi Kiran is saying job satisfaction. Harshal Ghogle is saying culture. Pratik Mehta is saying to find your best fit. Pradeep Gulur is saying marrying the right fit. Nitin is saying find best fit. Manvendra Rai is saying working. Aman Srivas is saying red diamond jobs. Sriram Nag is saying job satisfaction. Sneha Adhikari is saying culture. Neeraj is saying culture match. Harish Sankaran is saying work hard. Biplab Malik is saying wants. Jiteshwar Prasad is saying that the system works. Well said, Jiteshwar. Thank you. Rohit Khanna is saying everything is possible. Vijay Varadi is saying understand yourself better. Santanu Lahiri is saying cultural in alignment. Prasanna is saying achieving enthusiasm finally. Srinivas is saying you created a system. Akilan is saying enthusiasm. See, these are all great answers. But can I give you my number one learning? Give me a 1 in the comment box if I can give you my number one learning. The number one learning that I had was that your past salary has no relationship with your future income potential. How many of you are having a light bulb moment right now? Give me a LB for light bulb if you're having a light bulb moment right now. Please understand, this is a limitation that you have built in your head. This is a limitation जो आपने अपने दिमाग में खड़ी कर ली है. Now, I want you to understand something. I want you to understand something. Okay? All over the world, okay? Companies want to hire you for the lowest cost. Okay? All over the world. And you want to be hired for the maximum salary. Yes? Give me a Y for yes if you're understanding what I'm saying. Right? All over the world. ये सारी दुनिया में सच है. Right? Now, please understand, in the SPT process, there is a way to tackle this problem, because every single interviewer and every single HR person will ask you for your previous salary. Right? Every single one, all over the world, will ask you. This is not just an India issue. Okay? Please understand this. So the way the SPT model is designed is to look after that completely. And I'm going to show you that a little later. Okay? A little later, I'm going to show you that. All right? So please understand this. Okay? Now, it was only when I went from Total Wine into my dream job, okay, that I started making exponential gains. My salary at Palm Bay was 2.88 crores that first year. In fact, within 8 months, I was promoted. And then after my promotion, because I used this system again to get promoted. Understand, the system helps you uncover those extraordinary needs. Then you fulfill them. Then you have to uncover the next set of extraordinary needs. Are you seeing how this creates exponential acceleration? Give me an EA for exponential acceleration if you're understanding this. 1 का 2, 2 का 4, 4 का 8, 8 का 16, 16 का 32, 32 का 64. Are you seeing that? It creates exponential acceleration, right? When I was promoted to vice president, my salary jumped to 4.1 crores. And then I was a VP for 2 years. Okay. Then I used the system again. And when I used it again, I was promoted to CEO. My salary hit 11 crores. And please understand, when I made it to CEO, I cannot even tell you the feeling. I mean, by the age of 30, I'm leading a multi-million-dollar company, hundreds of employees. I found my red diamond. I cannot even tell you how proud my parents were and the kind of feelings my family had. Because this was the top of the ladder. There was no step left to climb. And I'll share this with you. See, this is my tax return. This is called a W-2 form. Okay, this is my tax return from 1 year into the CEO job. My total filed wages that year were more than $2.2 million. Okay. Now, Samarjeet is saying, is it possible in India? Samarjeet, there are already thousands of success stories that I have created in India using this model. So please understand this. Fresher, senior professional, mid-level, all over. Now, please understand this. I'm not sharing this with you to try and impress you. That is not the point of this slide. Okay. See, I was promoted to CEO in March of 2009. This is my tax return from April of 2010. But I'm not sharing this with you to try and impress you. Okay. That is not the point of this slide. The real point of this slide is that only someone who has walked every inch of this journey themselves can guide you as to what your journey will be like. Because only the person who has done the R&D is the one who has the answers. And to reach here, I had to create value at every single stage of my career. I had to learn how to overcome politics of multiple complexity and scale at every single stage of my career. So I understand What are the pitfalls? What are the problems at each stage of an individual's career? Because nobody is going to come to you and say, your boss is not going to come to you on Monday morning and say that I like you 3 times more today. I'm going to triple your salary. It doesn't work like that. You will have to put in the work to get the reward. Can I share a short story with you? It's something that's personally meaningful to me. May I have your permission? Give me a P for permission if I can share this with you. Thank you. I appreciate that. See, as I was telling you, I was promoted on the 1st of March 2009. That's where the announcement was made. And 2 days after I was promoted, I became a father. How many of you have children of your own here? Give me a C for children if you have children of your own. So, a lot of parents with us this morning. You well know, I mean, it was the best week of my life, but you well know that, when you have a child, it's the biggest thing that can happen to you. Everything changes. And I can tell you that, everything went very well. I have 2 children now. I have a son and a daughter. And, my son was my firstborn. And when my son was born, my boss called me that morning. Now, I had an amazing relationship with my boss. There was a lot of sincerity. There was a lot of mutual respect. We used to travel very often together. We used to joke around with each other. And I can tell you that he called me and he says, how's everything going? And I said, well, we just became parents this morning. Everything is well. My wife is well. Mother-in-law was visiting. Of course, girl's mother typically comes over at the time of delivery. And he says, I want to come to the hospital and I want to meet you. I want to see your baby. And I said, that's really nice. Thank you for taking the time. So the next day, agle din sham ko, next day by the evening, he came. My boss came to the hospital. And by the time he came, we had been discharged. So I was actually in the process of taking my wife out. She was sitting in a wheelchair. She had delivered a baby the previous day. The baby was in her godi, and my mother-in-law was walking next to me, and we were leaving the hospital. So we were coming out of the hospital when I saw that my boss is walking up to the entrance. And when he saw me come out, he jogged up to me and came and, he gave me a big hug and he congratulated me, wished my wife and saw the baby. And he said, Savan, I've got something for you. So I said, Mark, you didn't need to bring me anything. I mean, the fact that you took the time and you came here is very special. Thank you for, coming and seeing us. And he said, no, I wanted to do this. So he took me to the parking area. It was right across the parking area. He takes me to the parking area. My family is with me. And he gave me a little box. And when I opened the box, there was like a black rectangle in the box. And when I picked it up, it had the BMW logo on it. And when I clicked that button, I saw the lights of this car flash. For being appointed the CEO of his company and for becoming a father, my boss gifted me a brand new 7 Series BMW. Now, I can tell you it was not the value of the car. I can tell you it was not the value of the car. I mean, I had tears in my eyes. And I want you to understand this. How many of you are getting a feeling that you also want a boss like this? Give me an I in the comment box if you are getting a feeling like that. Because I can tell you, it was the fact that he did this in front of my family, that he gave me this respect in front of my family, that meant deeper to me. And in that moment, I promised myself that I am going to work harder for this man than I have worked for anybody in my entire life. So if you are getting the feeling that you want a boss like this, or that you deserve a boss like this, please understand, you first have to become an employee like that. You first have to give before you're going to get. Is this making sense? Give me a MS for making sense if this is making sense. पहले देना पड़ेगा. ये जीवन का उसूल है. First, you have to generate that kind of value for that value to flow back to you. But I can tell you, it was an amazing feeling bringing my family home in that car, bringing my newborn son. That was like the cherry on top of the cake. And I can tell you, you know, my boss and I had a phenomenal relationship. We built that company to the largest, most profitable private player in the entire world, in the entire industry. And that is where in 2011, I was given the Outstanding Achievement Award. This is the highest honor from the industry. Now, I can tell you, this was the big boys table. This was something that had been given to past CEOs of companies like Walmart and McDonald's and Kellogg and Coca-Cola. And this was the big boys table. Because please understand something. You cannot look into the future. The dots only connect when you look back. Have you heard that famous speech of Steve Jobs? Give me an H for heard if you've heard that. It was a very famous statement he had made. The dots will only connect when you look back. जब आप पीछे मुड़कर देखेंगे तभी समझ आएगा why you went through what you went through. So I want you to understand this. When I look back, the number one thing that I realize is that there is a science to building your career. There is a science to building your career. Because you cannot look into the future. But it is only when you follow that science that your future will unfold in this amazing way. In fact, I want you to understand, you too can command a premium salary. You too can have an amazing career. There are only two reasons that are holding you back. There are only two reasons why you are settling with your job and compromising with your salary. And these reasons could be completely in your subconscious mind. You may not even fully understand that they are limiting you. See, these are the two reasons. These are the two kinds of professionals that I meet. The first is someone who believes that they are not worth a bigger paycheck. They have lost their belief in themselves because they have taken a beating at the hands of life. How many people here have taken a beating at the hands of life? Give me a B for beating in the comment box if you've taken a beating at the hands of life. अगर जीवन से कुछ मार खा रखी है, कुछ घूसे, कुछ लाते खा रखी है, then please put a B for beating. Because please understand this. This is the first kind of professional that I meet. This can become such a negative spiral. It becomes nearly impossible to come out of this problem. Because the conversation that you are having with yourself becomes negative. You lose the game in your head before you lose it out there. This is what happens. People let their failure define them. They don't understand the strategic value of failure. वो उस हार को अपनी परिभाषा बना लेते हैं and it paralyzes them forever. They stop trying. This is one kind of professional that I meet. And the second kind of professional that I meet is someone who believes in themselves, but they feel if they increase their salary expectation, they will price themselves outside the market and that no one will hire them. And I want you to understand both of these limitations are in your head. And I am going to help you understand the psychology behind both of these, because I want you to break through these problems permanently. So I'm going to help you understand the psychology behind both of these, and then I'm going to take you specifically into hard and soft data research. I'm going to take you deeper into the system so you know how to implement it. But before I do that, I'll give you a short break. Are you ready for a short break? Give me a SB for short break if you're ready for a short break. Excellent. So many people are saying, no, sir, keep going on. Right. No, I've been with you for 2 hours since the morning, all 2 hours, 16 minutes. We'll take a short 10-minute break. Let's take a short 10-minute break. And then I will take you into the psychology of understanding how to remove these limitations permanently and take you deeper into the implementation. All right. Now, please understand, initiative is important. Aapne initiative liya and you came here today. See, today is a Saturday. You could have been doing anything, right? You took the initiative and you came here. But can you tell me in the comment box what is even more important than initiative? Tell me. Wow, I'm getting some phenomenal answers. Action, commitment, to keep it up, to finish through, implementation, execution to the last. Finish your efforts, attentiveness and commitment, work on it. That is correct. You know the word I use for it? The word I use for it is finitiative. Finitiative is even more important than initiative. Excitably शुरू हो जाने वाले तो बहुत मिलते हैं, खत्म करने वाले बहुत कम होते हैं. Right. So please understand, it was not a coincidence that you are here today. Okay. Right. So I'll give you a short break. You don't need to log off. You can stay logged on. It's just a 10-minute break. And you want to run to the restroom, you need a biological break, or you want to refresh your cup of chai or coffee. I'm also going to heat up my tea. So the break is going to finish at 11:30 a.m. By 11:30 a.m., please be back in your seats. So tell me, what time will you be back in your seat? My champions are saying 11:29. Ye baat. Excellent. So I will see you back here at 11:29. All right. We will start at 11:30. And I am going to help you understand the psychological reasons underneath these problems. And then I'm going to take you deeper into the implementation, into hard and soft data research. All right. Have a great break. I will see you back in just a few minutes. All right. I will be here at 11:29 to welcome you. Yes. And if you need my LinkedIn, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, because a lot